All right, remember we're in trend mode, so we have to go in the direction of the blue line, the 20 simple moving average. And it was a great trade earlier, but that's before our start time. This is central time, so 8:30 when the market's open. You get a short right here. It's 8:30, 9159. You can see the trade right there, but you can't take it. Why? Because the blue line is up. And when you're in trend mode, up means you go long, not short. So we'll keep an eye on that, but we have to stay flat. We could go long here. This trade is still valid, but then you get a new setup here. So then you get this short trade here, but the line is still up. Okay, and that short trade cancels this short trade. Always go with the newest one. Now, it looks like the line does go down right here. And so that would qualify being able to get into this trade. Except, so when it pushes through, you think you're getting into the trade. But guess what? Now you're in the chop zone. And I realize there's a few things you have to think about. The Counterpunch Trader has these filters built in. As a Counterpunch Express trader, you have to think about these things. You can't take a short trade against the 50 EMA when you're above the 50. The entry's above the 50. You can't go short because you're in the chop zone. Okay, so you stay flat. Here's the entry right there. See? It's above the chop zone. Then you have a new trade. That new trade cancels this trade. So we're flat still. We're not in a trade yet. We're just waiting. Okay, now right here, it looks like you might be able to get into this if it comes down lower, but remember with two closes above the signal line before it triggers in, this trade is now canceled. So flat, there's no setups. We're waiting. Then we get a possibility to go long right here. So did the moving average move higher? It did. It went from 19155.95 to 19156.05. It went higher. So this becomes your first trade of the day, which looks pretty good because your 50 EMA is trying to push higher and get above the 200. It broke lower and failed. And quite often, a move that breaks and fails will tend to do well in the opposite direction. I mean, it's a high percentage chance it will. And it gets long, and it goes up, and it hits target 2 perfectly. So, you know what? There are some moving parts in here, but these filters are here for a reason. We use trend mode for a reason. We use the chop zone for a reason. You want to avoid choppy trades and choppy markets. You have to practice and learn the rules of the strategy. It's very simple just to take the trades, but when you apply some sophistication, these are filters that have tested well for not even hundreds of trades, thousands of trades. That's why we use them. And you can see how it kept us pretty much in the calm here, finally getting into a long trade that hit the target perfectly, hitting its goals. And then it stops out for a partial profit on the trailer. One and done. Okay, so hopefully that lengthy explanation helps. Let's look at today. Today was a lot easier. It was a much more straightforward session. Now, if you're new to Counterpunch Express, don't be overwhelmed by this. It's just a matter of getting used to it and getting repetition. Okay? So, again, trend mode. It's up, so you can't go short here. It closes down, but that's already when it's down here. Now you have a new entry. That cancels the one prior. You're below the 50 EMA, which means you can go short, even though you're in the chop zone. And it does get short, and it comes down, and it hits target 1, and it hits target 2, and hits target 3 perfectly. Meanwhile, you're trailing down even lower, and finally it's going to stop out right in this area. So another one and done session. And when you see all the lines rolling over and crossing that 200 and moving lower like this, that's really nice corroboration with your assumption. And look at the spread between the two lines on the histogram. That's showing you a lot of momentum down. So that trade worked out perfectly. And you might say, hey, this trade would have worked out too. Yeah, it would have, but you got to follow your rules. Trend mode means wait till the line is turning down, the blue line, and then you end up with a bigger trade, and it ended up being better. So, you know, the trade gods work in mysterious ways. All right, hope you enjoyed these examples. There's some good learning points in here. This is TJ with Counterpunch Trader and the Counterpunch Express, and I'll see you on the next video.